Jai Shivai. Some of the seekers that I have, they have asked me a question if I can explain how to manage or how to, you know, understand the hyper emotional states in people. And those hyper emotional state could be for various reasons in life, right? So they want to know whether intelligence is more important or emotions are more important to have, and how to really decode and not be so hyper emotional in life. Okay, so let's first understand one important point, that whether emotions are important in your life or intelligence is more important. Intellect is more important. And by intellect, I mean buddhi and vivek. So, buddhi and vivek are more important for you in life, or emotions matter a lot to you. And I'm not talking here about those people who are very cut and dry, kind of have no sensitivity at all towards life, towards other people's pain, or towards, no kindness or compassion within. I'm not talking about those people here, because it's not good to be that way either, go to that extreme either. It's not at all a very good situation or very good state to be in such a dry desert kind of a heart. Okay, so there needs to be some kindness, needs to be compassion in life, there must be some gratitude in life for all those who have given you something, right? Your parents who might have raised you, and your gurus, your teachers, your neighbors, your friends, your family members, anybody who helps around, and to the divine power who is keeping you alive on the road when you are driving, right? So you need to have some gratitude. So that much of having an emotional state is good, is okay. But other than that, you all need to understand that it's a balance like this. So whenever emotional state goes up, okay, your emotions become very strong, very intense, then the level of your intelligence goes down. Your intellect's ability to discern something and take a decision goes down. Your ability to understand and see things clearly goes down. In other words, your intellect, the faculty of your intellect, actually is clouded, you can say. It's clouded, and it becomes foggy whenever you have emotions running high up. So, in life, you have all the right to be emotional. Be emotional if you ever have to be. But never let your emotions hijack your intelligence. Never let that happen. You can be as intensely emotional as you want to, but at the very same time, have a full command on your intellect, on your intelligence. Otherwise, because intelligence is more like intelligence, intellect, buddhi, vivek, whatever you would like to call it, it's more like the steering wheel. How important it is to have the full command, full control over your steering wheel. When emotions become the steering wheel, a lot of things go wrong. Whole lot of things go wrong. Even when somebody says, suppose somebody is in a very high, intensely emotional state all the time, then if somebody is suggesting a good solution, or if somebody is saying something normally, even then you will receive an emotional response to it, an emotional reaction to it. No matter who says what, from you, within you, There is an emotional tornado going on. So all the time your reaction is emotional. Now let's see why does that happen? When people become so much emotional, what's the root cause of becoming hyper emotional over the period of time? So what happens is, through living in this sansara, in this world, people create a lot of expectations from others. People have a lot of expectations from others just by existing. If I am human, then everybody should behave with me as a human being, as they would behave with any other human being. So there is a standard there, right? So that is an expectation. Then if you are a woman, you expect entire world to be in a different way with you, in a certain way with you, and should behave that way with you, or fulfill some things in your life that way. So if you are a mother or if you are a father, you have expectations and desires with your children, with your other partner, with your family members. So desire and expectations go on building within you. There are a whole lot of heaps of desires and emotion, desires and expectations building up within you. And when constantly those desires and those expectations are not fulfilled, that's when you start becoming emotional and emotional and emotional and emotional. Okay? Now it's nobody's duty. Yes, it's everybody's karma if they behave in one way or the other, right? But it's nobody's responsibility or duty to make you happy, to do things as you say, to be in your control if you want to, or to, just give you what you are looking for, to fulfill your desires. This is not the entire world's responsibility. So if you are not getting all your desires fulfilled, maybe somewhere your perception needs to be changed. A change is required within you. But instead of spending time with yourself, instead of making efforts to transform yourself, when you start building grudges and start feeling dissatisfied, start building grudges against this person, that person, he didn't behave with me this way, or he didn't love me, or she didn't love me, or she didn't do this for me or that for me, she didn't give me this, she didn't give me that, or he didn't give me that, or whatsoever. A whole lot of dissatisfaction, grudges, anger, you keep building within, and you start becoming more and more emotional. And there comes a time, I have seen some people who lose their intelligence. In other words, they lose their consciousness to the extent that no matter who is saying what around them, regardless of who said what around them, in them some kind of emotional reaction is bubbling up, and that will come out. So doesn't matter what other person said, it may not even be in the right context, and then such people will happily label themselves as, oh, I am an emotional fool. Yes, you are. People with high emotional reactions, emotions one day will put you into a reactionary mode. You will lose your ability to respond. You can respond to other people, you can respond to life around you, you can respond to the events and situations and circumstances and to the people around you only and only when you have control of that steering wheel, your intellect, your buddhi, your consciousness. Being conscious, in other words, means not being hyper emotional, especially not being emotionally in a reactionary mode. Okay, there comes a time in everybody's life when they will go through emotional episodes, but a whole lot of people actually come out of it. They don't want to create more misery for themselves. Who goes on suffering, right? Who wants to suffer? Nobody. But some people really do get addicted to those lower emotions. Yes, It's very much of a chemical reaction in you whenever you are hyper emotional and you are fearful, you are guilty, you are shame, you are on some kind of a self-pity trip, or you are, feeling, having grudges, anger. All that creates a fight and flight response in your nervous system. And because of that, lot of adrenaline and different kind of hormones and chemicals are released by your brain, by your glands. And because it gives such a kick, just realize if there is a lion running behind you and you are running, or there is some wild crazy dog running after you and you are running for your life, just see how much charged up and powerful you become in that very moment and you run, right? So that kind of charged up, emotional charged up, you feel when all these emotions are there, and as a result, chemicals of the adrenaline and cortisol and all those chemicals are released from your body. Your body becomes addicted, heavily addicted to those chemicals, to that kind of a high, in other words, you can say. You get addicted. And that's why we say people are addicted to their pain. People are addicted to their suffering. People are addicted to attached to their identities, which makes them suffer even more. Because every time they reach that suffering point and they reach that emotional point, all these chemicals are released in the brain. And your nervous system is suddenly charged up. Now you can charge your nervous system and go towards the different kind of a high as well by meditating, by doing pranayams. And the more pranayams you do, especially the Anulom Vilom Pranayam. Anulom Vilom Pranayam in English is at times termed as alternate nostril breathing. Okay, so you can do that if you want to minimize your emotionally reactionary state. If you want to minimize on that, you can do those pranayams and make sure you do it for an hour. The more emotional you are, the more time you have to spend on reversing the impact, reversing those chemicals, changing the physiology, the brain chemistry, and changing your emotional state, bringing it back to being very conscious and using your intellect instead. Okay, so you have to do pranayams to get rid of these super emotional state. Anybody who is getting a whole lot of getting into a whole lot of emotional reactions, whether they are kid or they are teens or youth or adolescents or adults, whosoever they are, they can always do this one pranayam. It will bring down your emotional reactionary mode and give you the control of the steering wheel that you have, so you do not crash your vehicle. Okay, so this is how you need to understand that emotionally reactionary state is not going to take you anywhere. You also, other than doing these pranayams, when your buddhi, your intellect will start functioning, you will be able to do some introspection to understand why in the world I am having these many expectations and desires with people which are not getting fulfilled. Do I need to change the way I perceive my relationships with other people, things, this, that, anything? Do I need to change something within me? What is it that I need to change in me? And how do I go about changing it? All these things you will not be able to understand until you go back to the steering wheel, until you have a hold on your intellect, until you can use intellect as a faculty of a driving force, right? From the emotions, if somebody says your desires, your expectations are wrong, you will burst into more anger, rage. You will hold grudges even for the one who suggested you solution like that, right? So no solution, no advice will work. Now, it's not that only the desires and these days just the desires or a lot of expectation from people make them hyper emotional. A lot of medicines do that too. In modern day, in the modern world, lot of medicines for cancer, for thyroid, for diabetes, for BP, a lot of this modern medicine is releasing exactly same chemicals in your brain and is powering up your autonomous nervous system and giving you that kind of a kick, feel better, kind of a, for a moment feeling better, feeling charged up, feeling energetic. That kind of a chemical reaction is there from all those medicines. So medicines can have that impact too, not just your desires or people or the way you live or the expectations that you have. So don't think that everybody who is hyper emotional is hyper emotional, because definitely there is some perception, wrong perception they are harboring. Yes, that could be the case, but also understand that for some people they are on medications. Okay, they don't know any better. They don't know how to fix themselves, fix something in their body. They don't know Ayurveda. They have not tried any other alternative medicine. There may or may not be a case or choice that they might have. They may not have educated themselves enough or whatsoever. Or their family doesn't know any better how to fix them, how to treat their problems, health problems or whatever. So they might be on medication, and medication might be doing that to them. So in that case, first thing that some people cannot live without those medications, okay? And that's a different thing. But all kinds of psychosomatic illnesses can actually be healed by seriously doing yoga and pranayams. A whole lot of your health can be fixed. Your well-being can be taken care of. So you may not, slowly the dosage that you are taking of that medication may come down. And after that, you may slowly be off of your medicine and will learn to live in a healthy way. So many people try that and they are successful, right? It's just the will to survive. It's the will to live and live in a healthy body and a healthy mind. Be able to take care of all the loved ones around you. Who doesn't want that? So the will to live, the will to survive, and the will to be healthy in your body is what takes a lot of people towards alternative medicines, towards Ayurveda, and towards doing yoga and pranayams. So you can fix. And those who are hyper emotional because of their desires not getting fulfilled, because of their expectations not being met, they also need to do a lot of pranayams so that they can get back to the steering wheel. I hope this helps, and always remember, losing your steering wheel, losing your buddhi and viveka, your intelligence, is a very bad thing to happen to anybody. Okay? Namaste. Jai Shivaya.